What's up, y'all? Jordan here with High Hope Farms and New Heights Agri-Drone Service. As you know, we run an XAG P100 Pro spray drone, and one of my biggest aggravations has been these batteries in the handles right here. So they are kind of chintzy, and they are starting to break. The caps are starting to break off, and this is the major contact point for everything you do with these things. Yanking them out of the charger, yanking them out of the drone, moving them around. So I got kind of aggravated with that, and I jumped on a Facebook forum and found the guys at Mountain View Ag. They're out of Mountain Lake, Minnesota. I talked to Britton, I believe his name was, and they 3D print handles. So he got these printed up for me, custom yellow to match our logo. So they're numbered, so they've got numbers on them, so you can make sure you match your batteries up to keep your cycle counts the same. They have, I don't know how many different colors, so if you want to color code them, number code them, however you want to, there's an option there. So they send the full set of 8 handles, cost me $80. That included shipping. Comes with all brand new stainless hardware. The most aggravating part is taking the battery apart. I did one earlier just to make sure I kind of knew what I was doing before I videoed it, but I'm gonna video what it takes to take one of these apart and put your handles on. Please excuse my appearance today. I don't have any really nice work shirts today. I just grabbed what was in the closet, and it rained on me for the last half an hour too. Trying to get a job finished up, and it started raining. So I figured, well, since I got a rain day, I'm gonna go ahead and do these handles. So you need a couple tools. You're gonna need a couple of hex wrenches, Allen wrenches. I don't know what sizes they are. I think they're 2 and a 3 millimeter. Just get your set out and figure out which ones you want. The ball end ones seem to be a little bit more helpful just because of the angles that you got to get in underneath these covers. A number 2 Phillips screwdriver, preferably something that's got a longer shank on it, because you got to reach up underneath the hood of this thing. So first thing you got to do, you got to pop the rubbers off these corners. Just be careful when you pull these off that you don't break them, especially if they've been on the drone for a while. You know how that chemical will react with rubber, and it'll make it kind of brittle. So just take your time, pull the edges off. Do the edges first, and then you can pull it out of the top. So some of them are pretty easy, some of them aren't. You might need to use a pick or a screwdriver or something like that. I'm not doing that just because I don't want to tear them. Plus you got farmer sausage fingers. So Allen wrench, you'll see down in there, once you take those covers off, there's 4 holes there that holds your Allen screws that hold your top down. So you're just going to run those out. You don't have to take them all the way out. I just let them sit down in the recessed hole. So once they're loose, you just do all 4 corners. And these aren't terribly tight. They got a little drip of blue Loctite on them, just to keep them from vibrating loose. You can add some blue Loctite back to them if you want to, but there's plenty on them already. So if you put them back in and then torque them down, they should be fine. Take that out. So that should be loose. Just wiggle your top, make sure all your screws are all the way out. That one's got a little bit left. Now go slow when you take this lid off, and you'll see why here in a second. So it's going to open up this way like that. All that hardware and wiring in there, your circuit boards and all that stuff are underneath there. So just go slow when you do this. Make sure that you're not Make sure you're watching your points of contact too with all your stuff, because you got your positive and negative just like a regular car battery. If you arc those off, you're going to cause a spark. You also could probably ruin the capacitors and whatnot in that circuit board that actually operates a smart battery. So you're going to take your, I think it's a 3mm Allen wrench, and there's 2 small hex screws, well, hex cap screws right here. Well, Allen cap screws, I'm sorry. 2 Allen cap screws that hold on your handle. Now these are actually tighter than anything else I have torqued on the drone or anything else, which is kind of funny. The one spot you would think would not be torqued all the way down, well, as tight as it is, are some of the tighter ones. So you're going to do a side at a time. I'm saving all that hardware because you never know when you might need an extra cap for something, extra strap. So take this side off. So there's your old strap, your cap, and then, like I say, make sure that you take some caution with that screw coming out of there. You don't want to have that fall down in the battery case because that might cause an issue. So, okay, so now that's done. Get your handle and your supplied hardware. So they actually did some nice little cutouts right there in the handle, so you can put your stainless lock nut down in there so it holds it, so you don't need a wrench, which is nice. The fitment is pretty close. It's a little snug, but you want it a little snug. So what I found with the ones I've done, easier, go ahead and put your nut down in there as best you can. So the edges are just a little bit funky. You may have to take a pocket knife or something like that, clean your edge up, just so that you don't have a little ridge that's sitting on this. So far this part of the install has been the most aggravating. It's just putting the nuts in there, but like I said, I take the butt of my screwdriver and kind of get them seated and started. Then you can take your screwdriver and just push them down in, or whatever. If you got a ball end Allen wrench, probably works just as good, because then you don't have to worry about screwing up the edges. But now that we got that in there, I'm kind of anal about how stuff looks when it's done and it's sitting in the case. So orientate it the way you want it. So I kind of want the numbers to look, when I'm looking at the front right here, I want the numbers to be reading that way. So I'm going to install it like that. Let's take this opportunity too, if your batteries are a little dirty, right around those, you know, where your hand goes underneath and hits the little clip pan right there, you can clean them up because they're kind of hard to get to. So we're just going to set that in there. We're going to lean this back easy. Start our screw up in there. Oh shoot. Start our screw in there. I will say the screw holes for these are pretty well spot on, but do not tighten one side or the other until you get both of your screws in, because you need a little wiggle room. So I'm going to drop that nut back down in there, get that started. Back in there. Get our screw. This one's a little more aggravating because of the power lead that comes in right there. So just gotta take your time. I have horrible dexterity in my fingers, so I've probably dropped the screw 3 times on the other one I did, and that's 1, so I'm improving. Once you get it in there, get it lined up with your hole. Take your time, get your screwdriver, and just run it up in there. I would say use a screwdriver, do not use power tools, because if you over torque this and crack your case or something like that, you are gonna
regret it, because I know that they probably don't sell these tops separately. So take our time. We're going to tighten that one all the way down since we started that other side. Just like a little quarter turn past tight. Snug that one up, quarter turn past tight. Now we'll set our lid back down. Make sure that the battery's still functioning. Take our Allen wrench. Same thing with these. Don't snug them down until you get all of them started, just to make sure that they all line up correctly. Okay, now that they're all snug in there, we're going to go about a quarter turn past tight. Don't over torque those. And then your little corner deals. I found it's easier if you put the top in first, and then the sides are pretty easy. Pop back in place. Again, just take your time with these. Make sure you don't break them as you're putting them in. Okay, those are all set. Well, here it is, all put on. So, see, I like the numbers that way. So when I pull them out, I'm looking down at them like that, because that's usually how I carry them. So, if you have any interest, I will probably put a link in the description for the guys at Mountain View Ag. You can find them on the XAG Facebook group as well. Just go into the XAG Facebook group, search Mountain View Ag or handles or whatever, and it'll pop up. If not, Britton will get back to you like that. So overall, the installation is pretty easy. The product seems really nice, feels good in the hands, got good ergonomics. It's also got, I didn't show this, but they've got like a little tread 3D printed in the back of them too. So that helps with the grips, because you know when these get wet or you get a little slimy from chemical or whatever, it can be slippery. So they thought it out pretty well. Fitment is just spot on. My only critique is putting the hex nuts in the little holes right there. Just the way that the 3D printer works, the edges are just a little frayed right there, so you got to kind of work them nuts down in there. But other than that, I have no complaints with these. I can't wait to get them in the field and try them out, and I'll kind of give you an update in a little while of what I think of them overall, and see how well they hold up. But thanks for following along. Hope y'all have a great day, and y'all take it easy.